Welcome to the special broadcast on DD India, the great Indian election in the year 2024. Democracy's health being tested across the globe. On our show today, we're going to take a look at phase 3 of elections. Well, what a day we are having when it comes to polling. There are 283 seats of the 543 members of parliament. That's roughly over 50% of voting or fates of the MPs being sealed in the EVM boxes. Overall voting percentage that we are looking at in this phase, still provincial numbers, 61.45% of voting in phase 3 of this elections. Also, this particular day panned out with, on one end, the Prime Minister talking of what appeasement, and also the former Congress President Sonia Gandhi in a slugfest out there on voting day. We're going to take a look at all that angles. But before that, let's quickly get our correspondents there on the ground, helping us understand how this particular voting day has played out. Tapas joining us from Guwahati in Assam. Akshay Dongre joining us from Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. We've got Gautam Roy joining us from West Bengal. And we've got Yogesh joining us from the Baramati region in Maharashtra. Let me first come to you, Gautam. Looking at the numbers, especially when it comes to the voting percentage, how do you see this particular phase of the election in West Bengal?
Well, hi, Anil, the numbers so far, we have the figures for 5 p.m. In these 4 seats. It was 73.93%. But voting went on till 6 p.m. So the final figures are still to come in. And if you talk about what had happened the last time in 2019, the overall poll percentage for West Bengal was 81.75%, which was marginally lower than 2014 when it had crossed 82%. So we're expecting the numbers to climb. It may as well go across 80% this time too, because we saw through the day that the voters were quite enthusiastic. They were turning up quite regularly. There were more in the morning, but it wasn't as if the numbers completely petered off in the afternoon when the heat is at its prime. But the people kept coming in, and even by 5 p.m., the arrival of voters who hadn't cast their vote by that time was just about a trickle, 1 or 2 coming every 5 or 6 minutes, and by 6 p.m. everything was closed down. So steady turnout really where I was in Murshidabad. Remember, 4 seats going to polls in this phase, and West Bengal having an election through all the 7 phases of the national elections. Okay,
let's shift to Tapas joining us from Guwahati. Tapas, the 4 seats in Assam, good numbers. Dhubri, I believe, has the maximum percentage when it comes to votes, and Guwahati, the battle between the 2 women there, purely in terms of people coming to vote, numbers not looking good. How do you sum up the 4 seats in Assam?
Well, one expected Dhubri to come out in large amount. If you take a close look at the earlier result, indication, you believe that Dhubri and Barpeta were the places where one thought that there will be highest number of voting. That's what the chief electoral officer also told us while talking, and said that the challenge will be in Guwahati, where it's a urban area. Most of the places are urbanized, and the challenge will be to tell people to come out in numbers. Just putting the numbers, the point that Gautam also put forward, the numbers that we have currently is about 75% by 5 o'clock. Now, I was there in one of the polling booths, and I was there till 6 o'clock, and there were fairly 500 to 600 people still left, to vote. The gates was closed of the particular school, but there were people still inside that particular polling booth, and they were waiting. It was taking time. There was a malfunctioning of one particular EVM machine, so it was taking time. But what I can tell you is that these are not the final numbers. One expects the numbers to go even higher. Probably not touching 80, but will be very close to the 80 mark that was there the last time around too. So that's one part of it. Again, you have to understand that in the morning, especially till let's say till noon, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, inclement weather played its part, and a lot
Okay.
of people were not willing to come out because it was raining, and it was raining continuously. It was not like it was stopping for a while. It was raining continuously, and people were probably thinking that let's go a little late. So one believes that and we saw there was a deluge of people coming up after, let's say, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We saw so many people turning up. In fact, when the gate were closed at around 5 o'clock, there were still plenty of people outside. They wanted to, probably didn't know that it was they will close the gate by 5. So all this keeping in mind, one believes that the numbers will go up. Coming back to your constituents, your point of Guwahati, as I mentioned earlier, also
Okay.
is going to see a very heated exchange between Congress and BJP. In fact, in the 4 parliamentary seats, this is the only seat where BJP is fighting its own battle. Otherwise, in the other 3 seats, it's BJP has allied with the regional parties like AGP in 2 places, for instance, in Dhubri as well as in Barpeta, and UPPL in Kokrajhar. But it's a make or break for BJP in Guwahati,
Okay.
because Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, the CM, Assam CM has all put their effort in
Okay.
securing this particular constituency.
Okay, let's shift focus to Maharashtra, Baramati, where we've got Yogesh Sheetal joining us. Yogesh, numbers, last provincial numbers that we've got, 53.7 in Maharashtra. All the 3 phases that Maharashtra elections we have seen, the numbers don't seem to be, or the voters don't seem to be that enthusiastic about coming out and voting. What do you see as the reasons for it? And how did, the seats in Maharashtra play out today?
See, Anil, we have visited many, polling booths since morning in Baramati. There are some booths where numbers were extremely good, but in some basically village, rural areas, what we have witnessed that, yes, you are right, numbers may be a concern, but as also Tapish was saying, number is likely to go up because this is not the final figure and we are expecting the number will go up. And also comparing to previous elections, whether assembly elections or the parliamentary elections, the number is, a bit improved in fact. Now coming to issues, as far as we know that the BJP in fact has been trying since a couple of years back when the Lok Sabha the parliamentary, the Pravas Yatra basically was started by the top leaders. It won't be any exaggeration if I say that from the foot soldier to the top leaders, all the teams of BJP were working over time and leaving no stone unturned to secure the seat Baramati. And since Baramati, we all know that we have been discussing Baramati seats from last couple of days, that how the seats are quite important and how things will decide the future of Maharashtra assembly election also. So this time definitely there will be a lot of sleepless night by the time result is declared for NCP, both the sections, for Ajit Pawar section and for the Sharad Pawar section. Coming to other regional parties, the Shiv Sena, basically the stronghold Shiv Sena, there are many seats which are neck to neck contest between the 2 factions. So this phase was quite important, and with this phase all around 50% seats of total 48 seats of Maharashtra, now the voting having completed, now the Maharashtra will go for the another 2 round of votings.
Okay, let's get Akshay on board. Akshay, Madhya Pradesh in this phase, how do you see the big wigs in the election fray? 2 former chief ministers, many union ministers. How do you see this particular election in Madhya Pradesh and the voting turnout?
Well, it was quite interesting, Anil, because if you look at the polling percentage, then in the state of Madhya Pradesh, the total polling percentage has remained above 63%, which is quite while not that great number as far as the polling percentage is concerned. But if you compare it to the last phase, where the polling percentage remained about 58%, this was quite an improvement. Now coming to the big wigs, coming to the big seats here in the state of Madhya Pradesh, in these 9 constituencies that had gone for polls, at least 4 were quite important for both the Indian National Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party. For example, in the Rajgarh constituency, which has recorded the highest number of voting percentage, above 72%, the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Digvijay Singh, is contesting against the incumbent Member of Parliament from the BJP. So that is one interesting seat. Another seat is Vidisha, where the polling percentage has been quite well as well, above 60%, where the former Chief Minister of the state, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, is contesting from. Then Guna has also registered quite high voting turnout. And then if you come to Bhopal as well, then Bhopal was quite an interesting seat too, where a former mayor and both of the candidates from the BJP and the Congress were new when it comes to the Lok Sabha election. But the BJP candidate has served as former mayor of the city. So yes, interesting elections. As far as these 9 constituencies are concerned, the polling percentage has gone up to, it's not that great number. 63% is still low on the lower side, but it is an improvement from the last time around.
Okay, I'm going to say thank you to all 4 of you, Tapash, Gautam, Yogesh and Akshay, joining us from different parts of the country. Appreciate all of you joining us, giving us the latest updates there on the great Indian election. Well, now with the experts in the studios, we've got 2 experts joining us to take these deliberations forward, trying to understand, trying to declog these numbers for us. Aditi Tandon, senior political journalist, joining us. Shantanu Gupta, political analyst, joining us as always. Let me first come to you, Aditi. Half of India has voted. Do you see any thread that we've seen across the 3 phases of this election?
I get a sense, Anil, that all 3 phases will be different when the results come. And today's phase is key for the ruling party as well as for the opposition. More for the ruling party because the maximum number of seats out of the 3 phases were won by the BJP.
78 out of the 93.
72 out of 93, which is nearly 77%. And with allies, they had won nearly 80. So it is very important for the BJP to hold on to these seats today. Because you see the first phase when we had 102 seats going to elections, around 42 the BJP had won. And in the second phase out of 88, about 54 the BJP had won. So this is really the phase midway into the election cycle, which is going to decide which way the election will turn. Because half, as you said, half the seats have voted and the country may well have delivered a verdict today. Which we obviously don't know. And opposition also, why I say is important, major bigwigs of the opposition are testing their mettle today. You have Dimple Yadav contesting from Mainpuri. You have Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary contesting from Behrampur in West Bengal. Digvijay Singh, your correspondent, just said. Badruddin Ajmal in Dhubri of Assam. So important reputations at the stake and very high stakes for BJP today. Okay,
very high stakes. Let's get Shantanu Gupta in. Shantanu, how do you see this particular phase of the election? 61.5, that's 61.45, that's the overall number. Still not confirmed, but the numbers that we get, a percentage here or there jumping upwards is very much possible, but very much on the similar lines to the 2 phases that we have seen.
I think exactly. A little low polling percentage seems like a trend this time. And one can read it in various ways. My understanding of low voting percentage is the lack of contest, right? And wherever there is a perceivable high contest, high degree of contest, there we are seeing the high voter percentage, be it multiple seats of Tamil Nadu, be it Bengal, be it Assam, where we are seeing still similar or a little higher voting percentage. Let's say somewhere like Coimbatore, Chennai South, where Annamalai is contesting, Sai Tamil is contesting, there we got 7 to 8% surge on those seats. So I think now in this election, we have to go seat by seat because the current government, the incumbent government is looking so formidable in most of the seats that there is low contest. And whenever the voting percentage is coming down, my understanding is it's for the opposition. Why? Because BJP and its whole rung has a huge cadre. Right? Let's say when I also voted for in Noida, their cadre came to pull me out. Though I was anyway going, but I got delayed. So they have a presence. They are giving purchase to every voter. So because of their cadre, because their presence in every booth, right, they are able to pull out their voter out of their houses versus the opposition, which normally relies on the wave, any kind of wave, anti-incumbency or so. That's why I think lower voting percentage. As the other panelists said, this phase is quite crucial for NDA, for BJP, because they won majority of seats there. Gujarat is polling, where they clocked 26 out of 26, and I think they will hopefully repeat the same. I think the worry area is still 3 states, to my understanding: Maharashtra, Bihar, and Karnataka. And to my understanding, it was quite a worrisome states for BJP and the ruling alliance around a year back. but now they have almost curbed the damage, right? By tying up with JDS in Karnataka, by bringing Nitish Kumar back, and after the splits of NCP and Shiv Sena in Maharashtra.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's going ahead.
Okay. Let's take that point forward. Aditi, looking at Maharashtra and Karnataka in particular, what's the sense that you make? You know, Shantanu feels they have got the political arithmetic right, but in the midst of election, what's happened and the way things have played out, do you see, that being able to consolidate or the opposition being able to make inroads?
You see, I agree with Shantanu when he says that tough states include Maharashtra, Karnataka, Bihar, and of course to some extent West Bengal also, because it's a very, very tight contest going on there. But Karnataka, I would particularly point out, because after the Prajwal Ravana episode and the constitution of the SIT and the fact that he has gone abroad already, how this pans out in the electoral landscape is anybody's guess, because that does, put the BJP on the mat, but they were quick to recover the damage because they quickly distanced from the Ravana family, and Prime Minister also today made a statement where he said that we have zero tolerance for such people, and that it is actually the Congress-led Karnataka government which kept on waiting for the election cycle to start to bring out the whole episode. So how it plays out in the voters' mind is yet to be seen, but that is a factor because that just evolved close to the third phase in Karnataka. And Karnataka, all the seats that have gone to polls went to the BJP's kitty last time.
True.
So stakes are high. Coming to Maharashtra, I would be worried about the very low voting percentage there today. In fact, the lowest among all states. Election Commission has just put out figures. Maharashtra should have been hotly contested ideally because of the seismic shift in political alliances. People should have been excited, enthusiastic about who they want to vote for. So this general voter apathy is very interesting to me, and to be frank, I am unable to read it. Which way the wind is blowing, it is very difficult to say. Low voter turnout in Maharashtra is significant.
Okay. Let's also get our two correspondents there. Aisha Khanam is there joining us from Hubli in Karnataka. This is the northern part of Karnataka where elections are taking place. Amritpal Singh also waiting there to join us from Uttar Pradesh. Let me first come to you, Aisha. 14 seats in northern Karnataka. How do you see the voter turnout? The voter turnout is roughly around 66.3% for this particular phase. Still provincial numbers, but how do you see the voter turnout looking at all that's happened across the last fortnight in Karnataka?
Well, the parties expected the voter turnout to be at least above 70% in North Karnataka, because mostly the rural Karnataka votes with lot of enthusiasm as compared to what we saw in the first phase in southern part of Karnataka. But this was a bit disappointing in the beginning. Although there was a lot of enthusiasm among the voters and they rushed to the polling booths by 9 to 10 a.m. There was huge, polling, huge turnout. But the fact that, there is very low polling in Gulbarga Lok Sabha constituency has confused the parties. Their calculations seem to be, again, it has to be redone, because it is just 57% in Gulbarga Lok Sabha constituency, whereas highest percentage was in Chikodi, Davangere and two other districts. Now, Davangere is one constituency where two women are pitted against each other. BJP has fielded Prabha Mallikarjun and, the Congress has fielded Prabha and BJP has fielded Gayatri Siddeshwar. So any which ways, the Davangere seat will get a woman MP this time. So it was very interesting elections, but the voter turnout could have been better, although the Election Commission made all the arrangements to see to that the voters reach the booth, and also there were apps created so that people don't have to wait in long queues. But despite that, this 66% of voter turnout at 5 p.m. is slightly disappointing for the political parties. But the challenge for BJP is now, the BJP as it came out confidently in the beginning that 14 seats which they hold from the 2019 elections, it's slightly now challenging to see the different kind of voter turnout in Gulbarga, in Chikodi, in Davangere. we don't know which side the voters have cast their vote. So all the fate of these candidates is now sealed. So
Okay.
Karnataka has completed the elections on 28 Lok Sabha seats, and so it is over to June 4th, and the candidates will have to wait and watch.
Okay, let's also get Amritpal Singh on board. Amrit, now that phase 3 of voting is over in Uttar Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh votes across the 7 phases, do you get the sense somewhere on the ground that this particular election campaign, especially in the biggest state that sends 80 representatives to the lower house, somewhere caught, more in fear mongering? And how do you look at especially, the bastions, the Yadav bastions that have voted today? Anything significant that you noticed?
Well, one significant outcome by the provisional numbers that we have right now, that as UP in phase 1 and phase 2 voted lower than phase 2019, what they voted, these seats voted in 2019, that trend continues. Though it's only marginally lower, I think 57.34 is what the provisional numbers say. The last time around on these 10 seats, it was about 60%. So it's just about 2% lower, which could also be covered up because numbers still come in, so it could just marginally fall short or match 2019.
Okay.
But they did not increase, so that that trend continues.
Okay, I believe we've lost Amritpal Singh there. We've got Meghna joining us from Gujarat. We've got Siddharth joining us from Chhattisgarh. Meghna, a quick word from you. Looking at the BJP citadel there, is a hat-trick very much possible now that the votes have been cast?
Well, there is a close contest in some places, especially in the north of Gujarat and few seats of South Gujarat like Bharuch and Valsad. But having said that, if we are looking at the data from the 2022 assembly elections, we definitely see that BJP will be able to manage some of their strongholds, while there will be definitely a good fight given by Congress candidates and in some prominent places where Congress already had strongholds like Saurashtra and some places in North Gujarat, and I said some places as well in south of Gujarat. While the only disappointing thing we see is the voter turnout today. By 5 p.m. it's somewhere around 55% for all the 25 Lok Sabha seats out of the 26. By 5 p.m. this voter turnout was recorded, which is a little disappointing in terms of, while Valsad and places in South Gujarat recorded good amount of voter turnout. Urban areas, as usual, did not match up to the voter turnout which was recorded at semi-rural and rural areas. But one more thing here is that 56%, around 56% voter turnout was also recorded for by-polls, which happened on 5 seats here in Gujarat. And there were some places in near Surat and some places in Banaskantha, which some small villages which did completely boycott the elections and did not go to cast their vote.
Okay, let's quickly get Siddharth. Chhattisgarh numbers. Siddharth, the numbers look good, almost close to 67% of voting that we've seen in Chhattisgarh. Anything particular that's clicked, especially with large number of people coming out to vote, and a slight edge when one takes a look at the 2019 numbers from Chhattisgarh and the voting pattern that's been followed?
Anil, hi, a very good evening to you. Now that you've mentioned 2019 figures, I would like to tell you that as far as the voter percentage is concerned, that the dip is clearly visible. As if I talk about Chhattisgarh state as a whole, then in 2019 the voter percentage was about 71%, and this time around, like you just said, it's close to 67%. And Anil, if I talk about Raipur, where I am right now, which is also the capital of Chhattisgarh, Raipur, here the voter percentage right now we have the approximate figure which is about 61.25%, and if we compare it to 2019 that there were around 66.16%. These are approximate figures, Anil, but tomorrow when the final figure will come out, then we can compare it to 2019, and if at all if there's a dip, then we can certainly compare that how much the dip is. But the figures are certainly disappointing as far as the voter turnout is concerned, despite the awareness programs launched by the Election Commission of India, which revived the cultural heritage, the culture here in the region, as well as giving invitation to the voters that come out and vote. The numbers are disappointing.
Okay, I would like to thank all four of you, Meghna, Aisha, Amritpal and Siddharth, joining us from different parts of India where voting has taken place. Appreciate all of you getting us the buzz there from ground zero. Well, time now to get Shantanu in for a quick comment. Shantanu, your thoughts on this particular phase and how this particular phase, the voting that we have seen, you know, any surprising trend? I opened that question with Aditi too. Any surprising trend that you see in this particular phase that you could see being carried forward in the next four?
I think the numbers still showing the same, though I think now we understand that the final voting numbers will come in a couple of days. And as in the last phase, first few days, there's a lot of buzz. There was a 4 to 5% voting drop, but later we realized when the final number came that the voting drop is only 1 or 1.5%. And owing to early heat, and as I told you earlier, lack of contest. And wherever, and again I'm asking viewers to see seat by seat, wherever you see a high contest, right, where the degree of contest is high, multiple seats, there the voting percentage is increasing significantly also. There are seats where 7 to 10% higher, right? So I think that's how I am reading the trend, that because there is lack of contest, because the ruling party is looking formidable in most of the seats which they are holding, and there the contest is very low. And wherever the contest is high, like West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, and some states like Maharashtra, there is apathy. There is political apathy because there is so much confusion. You don't even know which NCP is the real NCP, though one part of the NCP has the symbol and one part of the Shiv Sena has the symbol. I think that confusion also giving
Aditi,
down, especially in Maharashtra.
Aditi, the final word, phase 3, do you see this phase to be very decisive when it comes to, you know, altering the fortunes of?
Absolutely, half the country has voted, and as I said, the verdict has already been delivered. Also, you know, it will be important, since you were looking for a common thread, Anil, just last thing that I want to say is, it will be very important for us to analyze how many seats is the Congress contesting this time, because they just put out a list today which says 328 and they call it the final list. When I asked them if it's the final list, are you contesting a historic low of 328, because they contested for something like 433 or something like 430 last time. So that will be a minus 100 seats. So that will be key. BJP of course is going to contest somewhat like 437, which they contested last time.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate all my guests, Aditi Tandon in the studio, Shantanu Gupta joining us. A pleasure having you all as we dissected the numbers of phase 3. Remember, the great Indian election continues here. And as phase 3 gets over, we dip into phase 4. Let's quickly take a sneak look at what's in store tomorrow night on the same channel. Southern states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana go to polls in phase 4 of India's general election. Will the regional forces be able to stamp their authority in the contest? How will the opposition forces make it count, while the BJP looks at another southern state for glory? Watch why Telangana and Andhra Pradesh matter on the great Indian election at 8:30 p.m. IST, only on DD India. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Great Indian Election. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Good night. Stay safe.